Hello and welcome everyone to the second webinar for the third edition of Future Food, Livestock and Poultry Expo, co-located with the 10th edition of Africa Agri Expo, which will take place on the 2nd and 3rd of September in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. The event brings together key stakeholders from across the poultry, livestock and agricultural sector. My name is Kushi. I will be the moderator for this webinar. As Tanzania's livestock and poultry sector continues to evolve, innovation, technology, and sustainable farming practices are becoming increasingly important in driving growth, productivity, and long term resilience. So, the theme of today's webinar is transforming Tanzania's livestock and poultry value chain through innovation, technology, and sustainable farming. So today, I'm pleased to be joined by an esteemed panel of experts from across livestock and poultry sector. To begin with, we are joined by Dr. Stella, CEO of Tanzania Veterinary Laboratory Agency. Welcome, Dr. Stella.
Thank you very much, Kushi.
Next, it's a pleasure to have Mohammed Asif, Deputy Manager of Sales at SKM Egg Products Export India Limited. Welcome, Asif.
Thank you.
Moving on to our next panelist, we have Castus, Director of Youth and Enterprise Development at Tanzania National Chamber of Commerce. Welcome, Castus.
Thank you so much.
We are also pleased to be joined by Kabuni Thomas, Senior Research Officer at Tanzania Livestock Research Institute. Welcome, Kabuni. And finally, we have Francesco, Senior Food Technology Officer at Tanzania Dairy Board. So I welcome to all the panelists. We look forward to hearing your valuable insight and perspective today. So without further ado, let's start with the webinar. Dr. Stella, my first question is for you. As TVLA is a center of excellence in providing quality veterinary laboratory services and veterinary products, from your perspective, how can innovation and emerging technologies transform veterinary services and strengthen Tanzania's livestock and poultry value chain?
Thank you very much, Kushi. As TVLA, we are dealing more into the animal health, like animal disease diagnostics, plus quality assurance, quality systems for the animal feeds. And we are doing research on animal health, but also we are doing we are producing veterinary vaccines in one of our centers. So for us, innovation and emerging technologies are very essential for our daily activities, especially now that most of animal health activities in Tanzania are kind of proactive, are kind of reactive, like when the diseases are there, then all the machinery are like running to tackle the issue. But then the innovations and technologies will enable us to be more of proactive and predictive of the issues that might come on animal health. So for us in Tanzania, we are looking forward to having digital systems, especially in animal surveillances, and we have started actually. There are several digital systems. One is owned by the Ministry of Livestock and Fisheries called Utambuzi. But then there are several like Afya Data, and then MI, which was sponsored by FAO. These together are running the digital system, although they are not integrated. But now the ministry is doing some efforts to integrate those systems into animal health. Another thing is that we have the lab that is purely doing some animal disease diagnostics plus the other. But then these labs are now trying to go more into advanced technologies, like we are advancing more in molecular technologies in our labs. and trying to equip every lab with those essential technologies, the molecular part in the etc. And like now we are strengthening the lab systems within TVLA. So we have a central lab, but then we have these other, what we call satellite labs, like 10 of them in the country. So they are both doing the same thing, but then they are doing the referral to the central lab, which is present here. And these labs are basically connected through digitally, because we have a laboratory information system within TVLA. So once the lab in periphery of Tanzania, let's say in Arusha, is doing some diagnostics, I can also access here and know how many samples have been diagnosed today, and then which type of diseases was there. And for this way, we can be able to have a collective report, which we can put forward to the ministry to inform of the disease status. So we have been doing a lot on these digital systems in Tanzania, and digital system, but also innovations and technology. We are now very proactive into vaccine production, and we are advancing. We started with one vaccine, but now we are into 8 types of vaccines, and our goal is within 3 years to have at least 13 types of vaccines. These are priority vaccines within the animal health systems in Tanzania. So for us as TBLA, the innovations and the emerging technology are very essential to enable us to do our daily disease monitoring systems. Is essential for the daily disease monitoring system, but also to enable having a proper running veterinary system within Tanzania. So that is what I can say in short. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Stella. It's really encouraging to see how innovation and these digital strategies are shaping the future of veterinary services and strengthening Tanzania's livestock and poultry value chain. So thank you so much for your answer.
Thank you.
Asif, coming to you, from your experience supplying egg products to international markets, what key innovation or technologies do you believe can most effectively strengthen Tanzania's poultry livestock value chain, especially in improving productivity, processing, and market access?
Sure. So thank you for the opportunity, and just deep dive into your question. I just want to give a small introduction about our the company and what actually that we are doing. Actually, we are kind of the biggest egg processors from India, and we basically process the eggs in liquid form and also in the powder form. And we have been supplying to different regions, different countries, different markets such as Japan, Russia, and most of the Southeast Asian countries, Middle East, and even in African countries as well. Recently, we have expanded our business in the African regions, especially in Nigeria, Angola, Senegal, Uganda, Ghana, and all. We have been currently supplying our egg powders. And the main application for all these egg powders is for the mayonnaise application over there, and also for the bakery application. So when we come back to your, your question of, how the innovation can be done. First, I would say we should focus mainly on the value addition, because, it's the solution is not to increase the production of shell eggs. You have to look for or invest on the value addition by invest on the egg grading, pasteurizing the eggs, or converting into the liquid form, or most convenient one is converting in the powder form, so that you can reduce the the post-harvest losses, all these kind of wastages by increasing the shelf life. Because if we compare the shell eggs, like the shell eggs are like highly perishable, and when it comes to the powders, it having a shelf life of nearly 1.5 years. It is 18 months. So there won't be much wastage, even if there are any stages of oversupply in the market. So this is how we can improve. We should invest on this kind of, the value addition of the eggs in order to reach the different markets. So that is the reason why we can supply to different countries. Because when it comes to powder, the shelf life is huge. Some countries may prefer in liquid form, where we used to supply in frozen condition. Okay, where the shelf life is 12 months, 1 year. Okay, so you should always focus on the value addition apart from increase the production of the shell eggs in the market. So this is how you can integrate the technology and enter a new market as well. Yeah.
Thank you, Asif, for your answer. Thank you for sharing those valuable insights on how Tanzania's livestock and poultry value chain can be improved. So, Castus, my next question is for you. How can Tanzania's National Chamber of Commerce help to accelerate the transformation of Tanzania's livestock and poultry value chains through practical adoption of innovation and technology? Over to you.
Thank you so much for that question. First of all, before I continue to the question, I'd like to share a bit about the Tanzania National Chamber of Commerce. So the Tanzania National Chamber of Commerce, or TNCC in a short form, is mandated to promote the private sector of Tanzania, and specifically the private sector that is innovative, the private sector that is inclusive, that all the communities, all the people are included within the private sector, but also the private sector which is competitive and resilient. That's the overall mandate of the Tanzania National Chamber of Commerce. TNCC has a countrywide coverage through regional chambers across 26 regions of Tanzania mainland, but also the Chamber of Commerce is basically a member-based organization. The Chamber has over 30,000 members, and these are from different sectors. The majority of them, they are from agriculture. We're talking of the livestock of our chain, the poultry. So majority of our members, actually, they come from this subsector. Now, when it comes on the role of the Chamber of Commerce in terms of how do we transform the poultry, the livestock of our chain into a practical, especially with the practical on how the innovation technology can be practically applied. The number one that the Chamber does is as an active market connector. The Chamber of Commerce connect or link up the private sector technology service providers with the Tanzania market, specifically with the farmers, with the cooperatives. So if you have the right technology that you want to bring to the Tanzania market, you want to bring to the Tanzania farmers, pastoral community or cooperatives, we work as the link to connect you to these clients or to these markets. So that's the number one role or responsibility that we perform as the Chamber of Commerce in order to facilitate or to accelerate the transformation. And we make sure that the right technology reaches to the farmers or to the cooperatives. That's the number one major work that the Chamber of Commerce does. But again, talking of the financing framework, because if we are talking about technology innovation, now we come into the question of financing. How is it possible for the small-scale farmers in Tanzania to be able to afford the technology, to be able to afford the innovation. Now, with the financing framework challenges, especially in sub-Saharan Africa and most of the developing countries, that our farmers, especially those individual farmers, it's not easy for them to be able to access, let's say, artificial insemination equipment or milking machineries, machines, incubators. It's not easy. So what the chamber also is doing around this area in order to make sure that these farmers, they can really get this technology, is that we are looking on how we build the necessary condition, the favorable condition. And this includes facilitating a kind of framework such as tripartite models or contractual framework, where we bring the farmers, we bring the processors or off-takers, and the financial institutions. So we bring these key players so that it becomes easy now for the banks to channel the finance. And now this becomes easier for the farmers to get the right technology or innovation. But also, as the Chamber of Commerce, apart from that kind of framework, we are facilitating or promoting what we call livestock leasing or purchase to hire model. These are frameworks that, as Chamber of Commerce, we champion, so that there's a small group of farmers, they can easily get or access this technology and the innovation. But in some cases, the Chamber of Commerce does organize and mobilize these farmers in formal groups, registered groups. Now they have the collective power. Now it's easier for them to access whatever technology or innovation. So these are the kind of the initiative or the way that the National Chamber of Commerce is really doing in order to facilitate or to accelerate the transformation of the poultry and livestock chain, especially in adopting this right technology and innovation. Thank you, Kush.
Thank you for sharing your perspective, Castus. It's really amazing to hear organizations such as TNCC have an important role to play in supporting innovation and technology adoption across Tanzania. Thank you for your answer. Kabuni, my next question is for you. From a research perspective at TALIRI, how can innovation and technology transform Tanzania's livestock and poultry value chain into more productive and sustainable system?
Okay, before diving into your question, I think it's better to give an overview of the institute.
Sure.
As you already mentioned, I'm from the Tanzania Livestock Research Institute, TALIRI, the abbreviation. The institute is mandated for regulation, coordination, promotion, and dissemination of the developed livestock technologies and innovation to the farmers that are within the country. And the institute has strategically positioned itself across all the zones that are found in the country, spanning from the central, eastern, northern, lake zone, western, southern, and south highland zone. And those zones or centers have their unique mandate, research mandate, as per the species of the livestock. And the kind of research that the institute is conducting is cutting across from breeding, nutrition, health, farming system, and so forth. So we've been utilizing different kinds of technologies and innovation when conducting our research, particularly embedding the imaging, precision, livestock farming technologies, like the use of sensors and so forth, in finding out the solutions that could be of economic importance to our farmers. Now, the key innovation areas where the Institute has strategically addressed over the years in solving livestock challenges in the country. One is genetic and is breeding and genetics. We've managed to develop some improved breeds of cattle, For example, the Mpwapwa cattle breed is a dual-purpose composite breed, which was developed for both meat and milk production. And at the same time, it has inbuilt resilience to fit in the tropical environment. So it improved productivity, at the same time, being able to adapt to the local environment. And also, we've done some research work in improving the breeds of varieties of poultry, for example, chicken. We are currently working on the Horace ecotype in our southern center, in the southern zone. So the essence is to improve the laying ability, the meat characteristics, the hatchability, and so forth. And all the pasture or forages, we've done quite tremendous work over the years. And to mention, we've improved some of the pasture varieties that are suitable for drought tolerance and increased biomass and the nutritive value. For example, Syncras, Rhodes, Prakari, and so forth. So that was one area. The second is nutrition, feeds and nutrition, as I've already connected with genetics and breeding. And the other one is animal health. So it's another area which is of critical importance, because if the animals are diseased, then the productivity is impaired and everything is going to come a loss, and there will be nothing done. As far as you could have started having a large number of animals in a farm, but if their health are not secured, end of the day, it's like losing. You're just gambling. So ensuring animals are healthy by the use of sensors, monitoring, cross monitoring of animal behavior and diseases across different systems, alert the management of the farm to make early informed decisions and prevent the losses that could lead to either death or lower production of the farm. So another area that TALIRI, or we think that is of economic importance as per the research perspective, is digital precision technologies. So the use of improved softwares to capture information in the farm and make things to be easily assessed and made some progress, whether it's in nutrition or breeding or animal health. So those are kind of the areas from the breeding, health, nutrition, feeds, and farming system. So to our part as TALIRI, we think those are the critical parts that could be dealt with, although we know that these technologies comes with their disadvantages on the other hand.
Absolutely.
Because it needs an environment that is well prepared from the farmer, the infrastructure, the expertise, and so forth. So we are keen on developing a system where we can pilot and see the feasibility of upscaling these technologies to our livestock farming system and see if it could be of a big advantage in solving our current problem that we are having in terms of low productivity. So in general, that's what I can say so far as TALIRI has done on the livestock production and research.
Thank you for sharing your perspective, Kabuni. Listening to your answer, it's clear that research definitely plays a vital role in transforming Tanzania's livestock and poultry value chain. So thank you for sharing those points. Dr. Stella, coming back to you. How does TVLA support sustainable livestock farming in Tanzania while also ensuring productivity, food security, and long-term resilience of the sector? Over to you, Dr. Stella. Actually, you're on mute.
Okay. Hello?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Now we can hear you.
Okay. I was unmuted from your side and not mine.
Oh,
So, yeah.
Sorry. So, yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. Thank you very much, Kushi. As TVLA, as I said earlier, we are more into animal health. So our support to the sustainable livestock farming is on the animal health section. So basically, as a lab, we are more oriented into providing science-based evidences in the presence of animal diseases, both in the field and then in the lab, and then doing the research on animal health, as I said earlier. But also, we are participating into surveillances, so that is another contribution to the sustainable livestock farming. And the other thing is on production of livestock vaccines. So for us, we are more involved into providing accurate diagnosis of diseases. And here we do have a plan of deploying 6 mobile laboratories, which will be more of like increasing efficiency into diagnosis, especially in the field. So here, directly, we will contribute into providing reliable laboratory diagnostic services, especially to the farmers who are residing into interior parts of Tanzania. The other contribution to sustainable livestock farming has been through supporting sustainable disease prevention. As I said earlier, we are producing vaccines. So our aim is to provide a more cost-effective vaccine to the farmers. And the role also on vaccine is we do provide services on analyzing the quality and potency of vaccines that are imported into Tanzania, especially those under the Ministry of Livestock and Fisheries. There are some vaccines that the country is being supported by other nationals. So we are into that mandate of evaluating its efficiency before they are being used into our livestock. But also we are into support of vaccination campaign. Tanzania now has been running a 5 years vaccination campaign for the poultry. For the large animals, here we have cattle, but also there is support for small ruminants. So like last year, we were involved into supplying of CBPP vaccines for the cattle, and we are hopeful that next year there will also be a tender for supporting and distribution of vaccines. And we will be more involved into small ruminants, especially the CCPP vaccines. So we have been in a front row to supporting the prevention of veterinary of livestock diseases in Tanzania and transforming the sector. But the other thing, we are more actively into the combating of antimicrobial resistance. We have a lab that is within the Central Veterinary Laboratory, but it's the only lab within the livestock sector that is dealing with the AMR, especially. We have another part for the for the human health, but for the livestock is our lab. So we've been in a front row, especially in detection of resistance pathogen, doing antimicrobial susceptibility testing, the AST testing. We are also doing surveillances on resistance trends within Tanzania, and the past studies has been specifically on poultry. We have done a lot on poultry, so we are now knowing the ranges of drugs that are, especially the antibiotics that are effective to our poultry and those that are resistant now. So this has been a contribution into the One Health MRA strategy. So we are into that team also in Tanzania. And as I said, we are doing as I said earlier, we are doing research and innovation and technology development within our agency. So the innovations has been more into vaccines. The researchers has embarked more into the disease, animal diseases, and we're also doing some molecular epidemiology studies, knowing the distribution of diseases within the country. We have right now we have more than 15 researches going on in our institute. So these are funded nationally, but also we have our own funds for research within the TVLA, but also we have been doing some researches with development partners from development organizations, but also other countries as well. So we have also a role in supporting international trade. So indirectly, we are supporting the sustainable livestock farming, because once you support the international trade of animals and animal products, you enhance the economies of the livestock farmers in Tanzania. So we're doing especially in testing and knowing the status of animals before they are being exported. But also there is also a market for beef, especially to the Middle East countries. So it's our lab that tests for, depending on the conditions that arises from those countries. Of recent, we have been testing for FMD, especially for the goat and sheep meat going to Qatar. So our lab is the one that gives certificates for the exports. But for a long time, we've been also testing for the birds that are the wild birds that are exported to outside Tanzania. So we are the ones who give the health certificates and enable the exportation to be successful. So we have also a role into that, and we do a lot on animal health. So I have cited a few that we are doing to support the sustainable livestock farming. The sustainable, as I said earlier, we're also doing on animal feeds, and I forgot to mention earlier, a lot of samples that we analyze are for the poultry, for the poultry, especially the feed formulations. We receive the samples from these big producers here in Tanzania of animal feeds, but also the smaller, the medium producers, and we do give we do have these visits to their centers, just to their production centers, just to give them advice, but also we have several of capacity building seminars done to the producers, the feed producers, but also for the the consumers as well, the livestock keepers, the poultry keepers. And we are doing a lot of poultry, a thing in Dar es Salaam, in Arusha, and in Mwanza. So thank you, Kushi. It's a lot that we do, but that is in short. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Stella. It's really amazing to hear how TDLA is supporting sustainable livestock. And as you mentioned that you're doing so much for animal health, that's really good to hear. Thank you so much for your answer. My next question is for Francesco. How is the Tanzania Dairy Board driving innovation and quality improvement to strengthen the dairy sector and make it more competitive and value-driven part of Tanzania's livestock industry?
I was talking about the rules of Tanzania Dairy Board. I said we have a mandate of coordinating, regulating, and developing the dairy industry. So we are doing such some activity like strengthening milk quality and safety in order to make sure that the milk we are producing through the value chain is the quality and the product which are going to be produced to have a quality and being safe for consumers. So as the Tanzania Dairy Body, we are doing registration of all dairy stakeholders through the value chain for the aim of identifying them so that we can keep on regulating and promoting hygiene of milk handling practice through all the value chain. But also we are doing capacity building and skills development to the dairy stakeholders through the value chain, from producers, milk collectors, transporters, milk processors, also the milk traders, for the aim that they can have skills and good knowledge on how they can produce more milk by giving the knowledge improve the dairy breeds. Also to have the equipment which is very sufficient and have of high quality so that they can keep the milk to be safe all the time through handling. As you know that the milk is the one of the food which are very nutritive. So it is very easy for them to be contaminated with microbes and any contamination which can harm the health of consumers. So also we are promoting through different training, exhibition, the modern technology and innovation. For instance, we are trying to move from using the basic milk testing, basic milk platform tests, which are very common and consume a lot of the time, by replacing them with more advanced milk analyzers, which can give us all the chemical properties and physical chemical properties of the milk at a shorter period of time, so that the milk collection centers, milk processors, even milk processors, they can attend a large number of samples which are being collected within their premises in short period of time. Also, we are expanding the milk collection centers and the processing infrastructures. The Tanzania Dairy Body, we are trying to cooperate or having a link between private milk collectors, also others daily stakeholders within the value chain, for making them to have a formal collection of the milk, because then the main challenge which we are learning in our country is to have informal dairy sectors, because number of milk which are being produced have not been collected with in the milk collection centers and reach the proper channels to the processors up to the consumers. So we are trying so much to formalize the dairy value chain by registering them, giving them knowledge and training, capacity building, so that we can transform the dairy industry from the informal sector to the formal sector, so that it can contribute to the GDP of the country. Up now, we are contributing up to 2% of gross per capita of the country.
Thank you so much, Francesco. Thank you for your answer. My next question is for Asif. Asif, in your view, what are some of the most important sustainable practices that can help to improve productivity while reducing environmental impact in poultry sector?
Okay. Actually, in my view, the sustainability in the poultry sector is not just about, protecting the environment. It is about producing more with fewer resources while ensuring long-term profitability for farmers and processors. In that, firstly, like feed efficiency is very critical because feed accounts for the large portion of poultry production cost and environmental impact. Secondly, strong biosecurity and disease prevention is very essential. Preventing disease outbreaks reduces like mortality, minimizes the need for treatments, and improves overall farm efficiency. Healthy birds naturally have a lower environmental footprint because more of the feed is converted to productive output. Next, we need to focus on waste reduction and value addition. From SKM's perspective, as an egg processor and exporter, one of the biggest sustainability opportunities is covering surplus or lower grade eggs into value added products such as liquid eggs and egg powders. This reduces food waste, extends the shelf life, and creates access to new domestic and international markets. Next one is like effective utilization of poultry byproducts and manure is very important. Like poultry manure can be converted into organic fertilizers or biogas, creating additional revenue streams while reducing the environmental pollution. And finally, I would say like efficient use of water and energy, including renewable energy sources such as solar and wind power, can significantly reduce the environmental footprint of poultry operations. So overall, sustainable poultry production is about building an integrated value chain from farm to processing to market, where every resource is utilized efficiently, waste is minimized, farmers receive better returns while meeting the growing demand for safe and nutritious protein. So this is what like I need to like summarize about your question. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your answer, Asif. Indeed, value addition is really necessary to improve productivity and sustainable practices. Castus, my next question is for you. How can sustainable farming be promoted in Tanzania's livestock and poultry value chain in a way that is practical for farmers and still support the business growth and market demand? Over to you, Castus.
Well, thank you so much once again. When it comes to livestock or poultry value chain, these are businesses. And in the perspective of the Chamber of Commerce and the private sector, these are businesses, and sustainability of the businesses is a critical aspect of the private sector or business community. In that regard, I would like to recall that just in the last January 2026, the Chamber of Commerce launched its first environment climate change policy. So this was one of the first policies of the National Chamber of Commerce, which was disseminated across the business community, actually, covering different aspects of the private sectors, being in agriculture, in livestock. So the aim of launching this policy, the Chamber of Commerce wanted to give the guidance to the business community, to the farmers, for them to be able to observe and adhere to the environmentally friendly practices in their business practices. So this come into action because of how we see as the Chamber of Commerce that the sustainability of the business is very important. Now, again, adding to that, we consider that the sustainability should not be the burden, should not be the compliance burden or cost to the farmers, but it should bring the financial reward to the farmers and improve their lives, and of course contribute to the national economy. So what the chamber is doing is now to connect the sustainable practice to the export market, especially the premium market, connecting the products to the markets, to the premium market in European, UK, the Gulf markets. So that's what the chamber is doing to find those markets, but again, to build the capacity of the producer, of the farmers, for them to comply, to meet the requirements of the sustainability requirements of those markets. So that's the core function that the chamber is doing to ensure that the sustainability is bringing the financial benefit to the farmers and not the cost. But again, we are utilizing the National Chamber of Commerce or private sector. We are really trying to utilize the domestic markets available, not only focusing on export, but also the domestic market available for organic, for sustainably produced products, being in the restaurants or hotels within the country. But again, the Tanzania National Chamber of Commerce has the role of issuance of the certificate of origin, just to promote the export. Now, with the sustainable products available in Tanzania, it becomes easier now for the business community, for the farmers, or for the cooperatives to easy access the markets by using the certificate of origin, which of course bring the advantage of coming up with some preferential treatments, especially with the countries that we have bilateral relationship. So these are the key areas that as the Chamber of Commerce we are focusing on to promote sustainable practices, but the sustainable practices that support business growth. Just adding to that, as the business community, we are also concerned with the cost of production. We are very sensitive with the cost of production. So most of the sustainable practices or interventions that tends to reduce, let's say, the farm input cost or environmental impact. We are very much interested in those kind of the interventions. Interventions like as one of the member here has mentioned, that utilizing the manure as a fertilizer, so that to reduce the cost of production, but also to close the loop between the crop and the livestock. But again, utilizing the what we call the black soldier fly as the source of the protein for the poultry. So these are the areas that as the business community, the private sector, that we do promote, because not only that we achieve the sustainability, but we are able to reduce the cost of operation at the farm level. But again, we are able to access the the premium market. So these are the key areas that we are focusing at the Chamber of Commerce. Thank you, Coach.
Castus, I must say that was a very well articulated answer, and thank you so much for highlighting those areas. Thank you for your answer. Moving on, Kabuni, my next question is for you. What are the key research-driven solutions currently being developed to address major challenges in Tanzania's livestock and poultry sector, such as disease control, feed shortage, and low productivity? Over to you, Kabuni.
Yeah, thank you, Coach. I'll start with as I said previously, how I ranked those challenges. And I'll start with the low genetic potential of the livestock species. So our research mainly has been centered on improving the breeds and the species of these livestock in the country, mainly to increase their production and making them to be resilient in the local environment. So just a few examples. For cattle, we managed to come up with the dual-purpose cattle breed. It's a composite, both indicas, the Mpwapwa cattle, which has been a blessing to more of the farmers in the central zone and some part of the country, which is more like the savanna tropical type of climate. So the other, from the goats, the sheep and goats, we managed to come up with the same kind of improved breed. It's the Malia goat, mixing up the indigenous bloodline and the exotic ones. So saving meat and milk production. Also from the poultry, we have the Horace, for example, just to mention a few. Increasing productivity, making them to be resilient and meet characteristics, the eggs and meat characteristics. So those actually were the major output, research outputs in solving the low genetic potential of our livestock stock that we have in the country. And the main focus was to increase their productivity and make them more resilient within our local farming systems. So I'll give some few projects that have been carried out over years and some are still ongoing. For example, we have the tropical dairy genetic gain. This one with the Maziwa Faida, we have the Enviro cow, and so forth. So those few kind of projects were mainly geared to come up with this challenge of low productivity and adaptability of our livestock species that we have in the country. So the second challenge is disease and trade barriers. As an institute, as I said, our core function is research. And currently, as I'm speaking, as for now, we have one ongoing project which is focusing on following the antimicrobial resistance within different sources in our livestock value chains. So the essence is to reduce the extent to which these antimicrobial resistance, which is now coming a big problem, not only in Tanzania, but globally, because we consume these animal products. And most of them have these drug residue. So on the feed shortage and the high cost, the target of the kind of research that we are conducting is mainly to make the availability of the feeds to our livestock and the nutritive value. So we have like climate smart dairy transformation project, for example. It's focusing on the feeds, the breeds. It has a lot of components, but feed is one of. And also the Maziwa Faida, which also is dealing with the feed components, just improving pasture in terms of its quantity and quality, the biomass and nutritive value. And again, the tropical dairy genetic gain, because end of the day, one of the outcomes is to come up with a more efficient dairy breed that is well adapted to our tropical environment, but at the same time has good feed conversion efficiency in terms to how it utilizes the scarce available feed resources. Also, another solutions which address another challenge is about the low output, high waste. So here, the research is geared on improving the husbandry practices in general, making sure that we generate less waste and we improve the output from our farming system. And for example, we have one project which is dealing with the restoration of our rangeland ecosystem, making it be valuable and productive to our livestock that we have, and to make sure that it reduces the carbon footprints end of the day, because that's very key. We increase production but lower the intensity of emission. And lastly is climate risk. The challenges here is like the drought, the erratic rain, and land degradation. And our research have been geared to come up with the breeds that are resilient, adapted, and making sure that other components like water harvesting systems or infrastructure are built in place which are environmentally friendly and cost effective to farmers. So in general, that's all about how TALIRI has been engaging in solving the available problems affecting our livestock system by developing or coming out with adoptable, scalable solutions that could be taken by farmers and add value to the livestock farming system. Thank you, Kush.
Thank you, Kabuni. Thank you for highlighting the solution. Francesco, my final question goes to you. What opportunities do you see for expanding Tanzania's dairy sector through better organization, technology adoption, and farmer capacity building? Over to you.
Thank you very much. By strengthening farm organization, as Tanzania Dairy Board, we are doing and we are establishing and strengthening dairy cooperative and the producers association for the orders to increase collectively organization power. We are in terms of bulk purchasing of feeds and sometimes veterinary drugs and equipment for the real of the cost. The aim here is to reduce the cost of production so that they can have profit through animal keeping, especially on the dairy sectors. Also, through having this farm organization, it becomes very easy for us to give them training, also connecting them with market, so that once production is high, they can have a stable market. And sometimes through organization, we have them access to different financials, finance access in case they can get a loan of improved daily bids, because the most
I believe Francesco is facing some sort of connectivity issues.
Hello?
Yeah.
You get me?
Yes.
Yeah. The big challenge in dairy industry which we have is having a large numbers of indigenous cattle which are low producing. They have low producing capacity. So we produce low. So through organization we assess for instance we are linking them with the finance access. Such one of the bank which we are working together is TADIB, Tanzania Agricultural Development Bank, so they get access, and we have already linked them in large numbers. That's why even now, when we are looking statistically, the production of milk within the country increased up to 4.02 billion liters per year. Also, through adoption of modern technology, as a Tanzania with Tanzania Dairy Body in collaboration with other institutes, including our ministry, we are linking the farmers to get equipment to promote mechanized milk system and milk cooling technology through linking with the Ministry of Finance so that they can get the exemption when they import these equipments, which are being used in cooling and processing, also through in transporting milk from one place to another. The aim is to reduce the post-harvest losses. Also, we are encouraging the use of digital technologies such as mobile app. For instance, we have launched the mobile app in collaboration with the Tanzania Processors Association Tampa, the Milk Hub, which is helping the milk producers, milk farmers, and milk processors to get different information and to be aware on different matters regarding the dairy industry in general, such as to be aware with the issues of animal health, issues with the farm record keeping, and sometimes the market information, or you have already produced, so where you are going to sell, so that we are trying much better to launch such mobile application to help them. But also adoption of official livestock farming technology, including sensors for monitoring and the animal health in collaboration with this. We are doing collaboration with the Ministry of Livestock and the Fisheries. But also, as I have speaking previous that we are doing the farmer capacity building. This is, we are providing regular training and on good farming practice, animal nutrition, disease prevention, milk hygiene, and the business management. And also, we are developing demonstration farmers in some areas so that farmers around this, they can get a farm practice skills. Also, we are doing much better on training them on how to adopt on improved fits and nutrition, especially by adopting a new technology of establishing the feed farms and the pastures, such as the cows and the other technology which you can harvest in a small place and have the ability to feed a large number of cattle which you are keeping. But also, we are enhancing much on milk quality and safety. Training farmers on hygiene, milking, handling, transport, and the storage practice. All this is to make that the amount, the milk which are being produced to be safe, and to reduce post-harvest losses, so that we can have a large quantity of, so that we can produce, we can process a whole milk which is being produced. Also, I've already discussed about expanding access to finance, but the last one is to have a good police through looking the challenges which are being encountered and make regulations and laws which are very suitable and sustainable for the development of the dairy industry in general. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Francesco. Your perspective really highlighted the strong potential for the continued growth and development within the Tanzania dairy sector. So thank you for your answer. As we come to the end of today's webinar, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to all the distinguished panelists for sharing their valuable insights and expertise. Thank you for your time. We look forward welcoming you to the third edition of Future Food, Livestock and Poultry Expo, co-located the 10th edition of Africa Agri Expo, taking place on the 2nd and 3rd of September in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Thank you once again for your participation. This is Khushi signing off. Have a wonderful day ahead.